So I am with Cullen Moore. Cullen, to me, is one of the most compelling frontmen and vocalists in rock music today. And I don't say that lightly. I've been doing this a long time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
You have this kind of aura about you. When I first heard Sleep Theory and when I was first reading about the band, I saw like a funny quote and it was like, metal meets R&B. And I was like, oh, what kind of a quote is that? And then I kind of listened and I thought, yeah, I kind of can hear that because your voice, there's a soulful quality about it that makes you so incredibly unique. And I think you're really compelling on stage. So talk to me. I'd love to find out from you. What was your moment? What was your first love moment where you heard something or you saw someone? I had read that you'd come from a kind of a musical background. Your pops was a musician. But what did you see or hear that made you say, wow, I want to do that?
So whenever I was younger, my dad, obviously, like you just said, he did music as well. And you know, he made a music video. He wrote a song and he recorded it and made a music video for my mom. And it was like this little VHS tape that he had. And it was him and my mom in a park. And it was the coolest thing. And I remember I'd always watch that music video, and it was literally just put together. It was just a regular music video. You could tell that it was just done by someone. And I thought that was the coolest thing, no matter how it was or how it was put together. I thought it was the coolest thing. And I remember seeing my dad sing it, and I was like, at that moment, I knew I wanted to be a musician. And I never told him that because I didn't really come to the realization um, that he was the reasons that I wanted to be a musician until later on in the career, like when I was way older. I was like, honestly, now that I think back on it, that was the turning point where I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So yeah, it was my dad that really
I love
that
that. I love that. And something as simple as a VHS tape of a video that he made for your mom. Well, talk to me about your family background. You came from a military background,
yes
correct?
yes.
Yeah, so
Um,
let's get this straight now. So Pops probably wasn't playing, right? He was probably a pretty strict guy.
yeah. Well, actually, it's flipped. It's actually flipped. My dad was a little bit more relaxed, while my mom was the one that was a lot more firm and
Oh, okay.
didn't play. Yeah, mama don't play. But my dad, he was always, he still is, he's a very big supporter. So is my mom. My dad was the one that really pushed and helped me with the music. My mom as well, but my mom was very on the traditional: go to school, go to college, get a job, because you never know with music or anything else. But she loves that I do it, and but it, my dad is the he was the one that was like, hey, he helped pay for the studio. He helped take me to different studios and pay for piano lessons or guitar lessons, which I never stuck with either one of those. um, but he is definitely the main supporter. And yeah, my dad, he was in the army. He retired at lieutenant colonel. Um, and he always wanted me to join the army, and I told him I'd never do it. I told him I'd never do it. And it came to a point where I was in college. Well, I dropped out of college, and I didn't know what I wanted to do in life. And one of my friends, they told me that they were leaving. I was like, "Where are you going?" They're like, "Oh, I go to basic training." I was like, what? And he was younger than me, and I just felt that I wasn't doing anything in life, and I just didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was like, well, I'm going to join the army. I'm not going to tell my dad though, because if I tell my dad, like, he's going to think that I didn't want to tell him, and I didn't want him to think that I'm joining because he told me to. I wanted to do it for myself. That way, if I didn't enjoy the experience, a lot of people tend to turn around and be like, "Oh, well, you made me do this. You wanted." I wanted it to be like I did this to myself. I am the one to blame if I don't like this experience. Um, and after I joined, after I signed up, that's when I told him that he was obviously extremely happy. Um, But yeah,
Wow. That's such a story. I think that's where a lot of your authenticity comes from though.
yeah,
Because I don't think you do something like that if you're not truly an authentic person. Now, I do have to let everybody know you are on tour with Daughtry. We have a
yes,
Starland Ballroom show coming up on the 10th, which is on Tuesday, and then we're doing something amazing with you guys. I'm so happy that you guys are doing this too, because we have an acoustic listener experience that people are going crazy for. And when I heard that you guys were going to be part of it too, I was like, yes, yes, and yes, like this is going to be off the chain. Super, super cool. So I want to talk about sleep theory being kind of your vision. You are
yeah.
I always say, like, it sucks in life if you're just a visionary or if you're just somebody who executes something without a vision. But you on this were the visionary and the executioner. You kind of were like, listen, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing this. I've got to figure out a way to make it happen. So for people that are trying to get their visions a reality, talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, yeah. So I started the project back in 2019, and it was after I left on another band that I was in, and it's easier to get in a room with someone that wants that shares the idea, the vision that you're wanting to, well, wants to see your vision come to light. Instead of getting into a room with a whole bunch of different people that have visions that you know, and it's hard to align five or four people's vision into one. And so like the idea behind whenever I started sleep theory, it was like, okay, well, I know where I want to go with things. I know how I want this to be. I'm going to work with this producer and we're going to get a foundation of where we want the project to go. And then instead of bringing people on and trying to do that, it's easier to have something and pitch it to someone and say, is this something that you're interested in? Because if they're not, then you know that they're not wanting to see your vision the way that you want to see your vision. And so the people that are like, yo, this is something I'm interested in, that's when you are able to find out those people that have that same vision because they see what you're going for and it aligns with what they want as well. And
Yeah.
so that's what we did with sleep theory. I started it in around 2022, 21 is whenever I found Paolo. And Paolo was, I say it all the time, I tell him all the time, without Paolo, sleep theory probably would not be where it is. Sleep theory, Paolo was a big help for me, not only with writing, but mentally just being able to continue on and push through it. I am super grateful for Paolo.
Yeah. Amazing, amazing bass player, great vocalist as well. Um, so let's talk about the music because I think the music, what I love is it's pretty diverse, but there's still that common thread. There's still that emotion, that heavy common thread. And the other cool thing is you have so many famous fans. Like when people like David Draymond are sitting there like, oh, I like Sleep Theory. Like that's crazy. That's a whole other thing.
That
But I
disturbed was
listen,
a big part of my childhood.
yeah, and that has to be like
Yeah,
wild that like he talks about that he really likes your band. I mean,
yeah.
that's incredibly cool. But like I listened to a song like Stuck in My Head, which I think, in radio world, we say like we listen to a song like that, we're like, oh, that's a smash, because that's just one that stays with you. I mean, did you consciously call it Stuck in My Head because you knew it was going to stick in every when I backsettled on the air, I'm just like, because it's stuck in my head. I mean, it just stays with you. It's a beautiful earworm. But then I look at, the tune that you guys just released, Paralyzed, which is that your heaviest? That's probably one of the heaviest
Heaviest
Sleep
that we've
Theory
released
songs.
so far.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But there's still that beautiful, gorgeous, take me away melody,
Yeah.
in the
Um,
begin in the song.
we yeah, so we always like to say the staple sleep theory chorus, stuck in my head. My producer, I remember I was in Lexington and he called me. He's like, dude, I got an idea. I was like, what? He was like, what do you think about this? I was like, what is it? Let me hear it. He's like, stuck in my head. I was like, I like that. I was like, that's really. And so he's like, yeah, I've been sitting on it for a minute. He's like, I think it's just the earworm. I think it's just super great. I think that we can, double down on this and make it something super cool. I was like, yeah, I'm digging it. And then from that moment on, we got in the studio, and all four of us and our producer, we sat down and we like just kind of like ironed it out. And Stuck in My Head was one of the songs that was just written and didn't have very many revisions at all. It is pretty much what it was whenever we first wrote it. Not many revisions, and just it is what it is. Um, and it's just a super fun thing to experience with everybody. Writing is a collective thing. And we do it and we have fun doing
Yeah, yeah. And you guys have had such
it.
great success and organically, which I really, really like. Organically by releasing songs, having becoming a radio band, having people stream the music, tens of millions of streams, big tours with bands like Shinedown and Falling in Reverse and Beartooth. You guys are going back out again with Beartooth. So give me some of those moments. What is it like for you when you're playing, like, say, the Ginormo Festival and it's Sleep Theory time and you're just getting ready to hit the stage? What is the first thing that goes through your head?
Honestly, not nothing really. And as stupid as that may sound, there's really not much that goes through my head. The reason is, and it sounds, I don't want to say it sounds conceited, but it's just like comes from a very strong sense of belief that I've always had in myself. Um, there was no point that I didn't believe that I couldn't achieve what we've achieved, and that's not like saying, oh, I knew that I'd do it. It's just I'd already convinced myself that it would happen one day. And I think that's a one thing that people should learn to do is have that strong sense of belief in themselves, because I feel like the reason there's not much that goes to my head whenever we're playing in front of all these people is, like I said, I've convinced myself that it would happen. And so when it happened, it's not like oh, I can't believe it. It's more
Yeah.
like finally it's happened.
I
You know,
think the music is I think it connects with people because it's very sense of self music.
yes,
And I think that that not only comes from you and what you're delivering, but I think when people hear that, they feel that. And that's what I love about the band, because I think the band makes that incredible, incredible connection. So, what does 2025 look like for you guys? This is going to be a busy year.
it's going to be a busy year, and we got some cool stuff coming. I can't tell you what it is,
I,
but
I,
it's
all
going to be
right,
some cool stuff.
all right.
Really
Um,
cool.
Also, you guys, when we do our listener acoustic, you have to bring some merch out.
Yes,
I could get myself a Sleep Theory shirt.
yes, of course.
So, and your merch booth is always super busy. You guys are a merchant band.
Yeah,
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 but I'm like a shirt person today. I'm repping Seven Dust because I wanted a little black and red to match my background. So I got the Seven Dust
okay,
shirt on, one of my other favorite live bands. And you remind me, it's almost like a little bit of a modern day Seven Dust because I hear that beautiful, soulful timbre in your voice that I also hear in LJ when he can still deliver that song and make that roof raise off of a venue.
yeah. Yeah, and that's one thing that I've always wanted to do is be able to control my voice in a way that is just like super, super R&B,
It's
super
so
soft,
beautiful. Your voice is
super.
so beautiful. It's
Thank you.
such a storytelling voice, and it's such an emotional voice. And I think that that's what drew me into the music first was literally your vocalist stylings. I just love the way you vocalize. I love the way you deliver a song. Anybody can sing, but delivering a song is a little different than just singing a song.
Yeah, I like to look at. I like to really embody like the words there. Some people just sing the words. I like to envision how I would feel while singing certain songs, how I would say it, how would I, if I'm talking to a person, I'm feeling this emotion that we're writing about, how would I convey that? And I try my best to do that. And I think that I think I touch it. I think I hit it on the head. I think,
You
but
do. No,
thank
no question about it. You do. I am so looking forward to seeing you. We get you in New Jersey twice next week. So that's going
you.
to be super, super fun. How's it been being out on the road with Chris Daughtry? Is he
Love
like
it.
bench pressing everyone? Because oh
I,
my God, he's so jacked. Is he like
it's
bench
great.
pressing you?
It's great. Chris is actually again that's it was, but I had the first two Linkin Park albums, and the third album my dad bought me was the Chris Daughtry album right after he did American Idol. and that is a core album for me. Ben is a big Chris Daughtry fan, so it comes full circle
I
for
love
him
it.
and me as well. So it's really cool to be able to sit and talk and expand and share this experience.
I love it. Cullen Moore, you are the future of rock and roll, my friend.
Thank you. Thank
And
you
I
so much.
can't wait to see you in Jersey. Thank you so much for spending some time.
Of course, anytime. Thank you so much.